Hey everyone, before we dive in, if you're enjoying these stories, please take a second to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. It really helps me keep sharing them with you. Thanks so much. The pan was already sizzling when I stepped through the door. Garlic, a squeeze of lemon, a pat of butter melting into gold. My spot at the table was set, fork and knife waiting like always. A tall glass of sweet tea sat there, beads of water sliding down the sides. Sarah leaned in, brushed a quick kiss on my cheek, soft, familiar, and said, "Sit down, babe. You look beat." She had on that soft blue sweater I picked out for her last autumn, the one that makes her eyes look even warmer. The whole house felt exactly the way it's supposed to. Calm, safe, like time had decided to move slow just for us. We ate. She told me about this new series she wanted to marathon and laughed about how the neighbor's dog had finally mastered the gate latch. I mentioned I was stopping by the travel place in the morning to lock in something special for our anniversary trip. Her whole face lit up. "You and your secrets," she teased, nudging my ankle under the table. "I love it." Later, on the couch, she curled her feet under my thigh, phone in hand, head resting on my shoulder. Everything was perfect, except for one tiny moment that felt off. She read a text, stared way too long, then flipped the phone face down. I noticed, told myself people get quiet sometimes. We fell asleep without any trouble. I ducked out of work early the next day and headed straight to the agency on Main Street. Put down the deposit for 7 nights in Maui, oceanfront suite, business class seats so she could finally stretch out in that big recliner she always jokes about. Walked out clutching the envelope like a little kid hiding sparklers. Got home right at 5. House was spotless. Bed made with perfect corners. Last night's dinner smells completely gone. "No, Sarah." I texted, "Hey, where are you?" Her reply came so fast it felt automatic. "Remember Jake? He's back in town. Just wanted to grab coffee and catch up. Nothing to worry about, we're only talking. You don't need all the little details." I stood there in the kitchen staring at that fat envelope. Suddenly it felt like a prop from someone else's movie. If I'd known where this was going, trust me, I'd have microwaved a sad burrito and kept my money. I wrote back, "We had plans tonight. I'd like a heads up when the schedule suddenly includes ancient history." "Relax," she said. "You're being controlling." "Transparency isn't control," I sent. "It's respect." Radio silence after that. I slid the envelope into the desk drawer. She rolled in around 9, dropped her purse like it weighed 100 pounds, and headed straight for the bathroom like she'd just run a 5K. "How was catching up?" I asked, leaning in the doorway. "Fine," she said over the water, scrubbing her hands way longer than necessary. "Can we not do this right now? I'm exhausted." I watched her dry each finger slowly, carefully. "Stopped by the travel agency today," I said. "Cool." She grabbed the floss. "It's our anniversary next month. Thought you might want to know what I booked." She shrugged without turning around. "I'm not saying no. I'm saying I just want to go to bed." That was the first hairline crack. Easy to miss if you're not looking. I saw it. Just didn't know yet what it was the start of. Next morning I brewed coffee and set the envelope on the table like a peace offering. She came out, hair in a messy bun, glanced at it like junk mail, and smiled with zero warmth. "Pressure much, Ryan? I'm not saying we have to go. I'm saying I already paid for it." She sighed. "Can we just slow down? I'm not ready for big plans right now." "Slow down for being married." "Got it." I slipped the envelope back in the drawer. Message received. She grabbed her yoga mat. "Heading to class with Mia. Don't wait up. Text me when you're on the way home?" "Sure." She never did. Friday we were supposed to meet our friends Chris and Jess for dinner. I thought about bailing. Instead I showed up with a new game plan. At the brewery, Chris ordered wings and gave me the look. "Dude, you okay? You look like you've been carrying a fridge." Sarah sat across from me, laughing loud at Jess's toddler stories, completely relaxed. Every few minutes her phone lit up. She tilted away. First 2 times I let it slide. Third time I changed the play. Jess asked, "So where are you two headed for the anniversary?" You guys always do something wild. I tapped my napkin like it was a microphone. Funny you mention it. I actually booked something pretty great. Not the time, Ryan. Sarah cut in, half laughing, half sharp. I looked straight at her, calm. No corner here. Just timing. We'll talk about it later, just us. Chris tried to pivot. Anyway, these wings are solid, right? Sarah raised her glass. It's not a big deal. Sometimes he just plans huge things to prove a point. She smiled at Jess. Ryan loves an audience. I set my glass down slow. New rule, I said, eyes still on Sarah. We don't roast each other at the table. If something's bugging you, bring it to me privately. Also, meeting up with exes? That's a 2-yes decision or it doesn't happen. If it already did, next time you ask first or I stop planning anything at all. The table went dead quiet. Sarah's eyebrows shot up. Are you seriously policing me right now? I'm setting a boundary. We don't make each other the punchline. And we sure don't blindside each other with old flames. Chris exhaled like he'd been holding his breath for years. Jess just stirred her drink and watched. Sarah finally softened. Okay, I hear you. I was thoughtless. I'm sorry about the jab. Peace. Or at least the appearance of it. Back home, she curled up under my arm on the couch. Your crime show? My treat. I'll even grab those chips you pretend you don't love. Things felt almost normal again. While the credits rolled, I quietly turned off the auto-transfer from my account to our joint credit card and sent her a note in the budget app. Splitting discretionary spending for a bit. Keeps everything clear while we figure things out. She glanced at her phone, set it down, said nothing. 15 minutes later, an unsaved number buzzed. She flipped the phone over fast and reached for more chips. The next week was short texts and long quiet stretches. Sudden dinner with Mia. Late movies. One night she slipped in at 2 a.m. moving like silence was the same as honesty. I stopped cooking for 2. I changed the door code, gave her a one-time guest code instead, and texted, if you're staying out overnight, let me know by 9. If not, text when you're on the way and I'll buzz you in. She called at 9:30. You seriously changed the locks? I changed the code. This is ridiculous. It protects my sleep. And yours if you actually care about it. She hung up. At work, Alex, young, fast-talking, scary smart, clocked the change in me instantly. You're moving pieces without touching them, he said. What's the end game? Clarity, I told him. I booked a conference room called the Travel Agent and switched everything to one traveler, business class, single occupancy, same dates. Texted Sarah. Postponing the couple trip. Taking it solo to clear my head. We can plan something low-key later if things are good. 2 hours later. That's childish. It's clean, I wrote. We're not operating like a couple right now. Acting like one would be the lie. She replied with a thumbs-up emoji. Like I just told her it might rain. Friday she said, girls' night with Mia and a couple others. Don't wait up. I won't, I said and meant it. At 6:30 I rolled my suitcase out the door and drove to the airport. Texted on the way. Out of town for the week. Calendar updated. Guest code works till the 15th. No answer. I took my big seat, turned my phone on airplane mode, and let the rest of the circus belong to someone else. The hotel sat right on the water. Sun, salt, strangers happy for reasons that had nothing to do with me. First night I ate at the bar, watched a basketball game with a guy from Milwaukee seeing the ocean for the first time. Second night I met Claire, real estate agent, in town visiting her sister, quick with a dry joke. We talked dogs, terrible hotel coffee, and the kind of quiet you can't buy in the city. When we said goodnight, we swapped numbers just because it felt easy. I never texted Sarah. She never texted me. Morning swims, noon walks on the pier, too much fresh fish at sunset. The silence was loud enough to hear everything I needed to. Third morning, phone pinged while I was ordering coffee. Quick pause, if you've made it this far, please smash that like button. It really helps the channel. Thank you. Message from Sarah. You're not home. I smiled without any humor. Correct. Where are you? I need money. I read it twice. Took a selfie. Ocean behind me, Claire waving from a distance like she somehow knew the assignment. Sent it with the caption, "You don't need the details." Phone rang instantly. I declined. Rang again. 3 texts in a row. "What is this?" "Pick up." "Explain." I typed one line, "No." Then blocked the number. Did it feel dramatic? Not even a little. Felt like finally putting down a box I'd been carrying way too long. Appetite came back. I ate pancakes, rented a paddleboard, started thinking about groceries, new locks, a month-to-month lease. Clean lines, simple math. That afternoon I called a landlord whose unit I'd saved months ago. "Still available?" "It is. I'll take it starting the day I land. Wiring first and last today." Texted Chris. "Need a witness for a quiet pickup when I'm back." Dry humor encouraged. "You got it," he wrote. "Kelly too? Rather keep it clean." She still likes Sarah. Last night Claire and I ended up at the same little seafood place. Crowded, only one free table. "You look like a man who just finished a hard job," she said over grilled shrimp. Something like that. She noticed the bare ring finger, half question in her eyes. "Situation recently changed." She nodded. "If you want company on the pier later, cool. If not, safe flight." We walked the pier. Nothing wild. Just 2 adults with space between them, talking about nothing that would ever make the news. Felt more human than anything I'd had in weeks. Flew home early. City hadn't changed. Same traffic, same coffee, same smell of rain on hot pavement. Went straight to the new place, signed papers, grabbed keys, then drove to the house while the sun was still high. Guest code still worked. I walked in with folded boxes and a short checklist. House was silent. Bed made hotel tight. Her makeup bag open on the counter like she'd be right back. Half-empty bottle of sparkling water sweating on the kitchen table. I packed my clothes, my tools, the files that matter, the photos that are mine. Left the couch, the bed, anything heavy. Changed the main code. Sat at the kitchen counter and wrote Sarah an email. Subject, moving forward. I've taken a short-term place. You can stay in the house until everything's final. Then we'll divide the rest. Finances are separate effective now, no more shared expenses. Anything shipped to you going forward, send to Mia's address. I've already updated the accounts that are only mine. Email only for coordination. No calls. Left the Maui envelope on the table with a sticky note. This was for us. Used the flights. Hotel credit is yours. No need to say thanks. On my way out, Mrs. Garcia from next door waved me over. "Everything all right, Ryan?" "Everything's getting organized." She lowered her voice. "Seen some late-night cars. Just, you okay?" "I'm good. You'll see less of me around here for a bit." She squeezed my arm. "You're a good man. Don't let anybody tell you different." Chris showed up at the new place with a case of water and the kind of quiet that doesn't need filling. "You look 10 pounds lighter." "I am. Want to talk it through?" "Not yet. Just help me hang these blinds." We did. When we finished, he sat on the floor, back against the wall. "Kelly says Sarah's telling people you had some midlife crisis and abandoned her. Kelly doesn't have to pick sides. But if she repeats gossip, it becomes her gossip." He nodded slow. "Want me to pass that along?" "Pass along nothing. I'm done performing." 2 days later Sarah emailed. "Where are you? People are asking. This looks insane. If you needed space you could have just said so. Also I can't cover the utilities right now. Send what you normally do." I wrote back 3 lines. "I said so when I said so. Expenses are separate. The house is yours to run while you're living in it." She replied sharper, "We built a life, Ryan. Don't make this ugly. We'll have to split everything anyway. We'll see." Mia texted from a new number. "She's hurting. You did this. Be a man and fix it." Wrong audience. My cousin Mike called from out of state, the guy who'd bring casserole to a fistfight. "Need me to fly in and heckle you back to normal? Just FedEx that toolbox you still have." On it. Also, proud of you, man. Doesn't matter why. Work got easier. I came in early, stayed late, finally took on that big project that had been gathering dust. Alex watched me like he was doing math. "This isn't burying yourself, right?" "No. This is building a new normal. There's a difference." A week later, our friend Laura called. Loud, hilarious, hates drama unless it's hers. Sarah's saying you took the vacation out of spite and stuck her with bills. That's one version. She also told Mia she's gunning for half of everything. Thought you should know. Noted. Paperwork moved fast because I paid professionals to keep it boring. Sarah never called. Sent 2 short messages through Mia, pure logistics. A week before final signature, Chris and I swung by the house for the last of my tools. Sarah was home, rearranging books like they owed her money. Mia sat on the couch scrolling. Sarah looked up. So you do still exist. Picking up the rest of my stuff. She leaned against the shelf. This is cold, Ryan. We could have talked. We did talk. That wasn't talking. That was you laying down laws. That was me setting boundaries I should have set years ago. She gave a tight smile. You're not as righteous as you think. Real quick to jet off alone. I traveled with the only person I could still count on to show up. Mia rolled her eyes, trying to sound deep. It's cringe. I looked at her. This is between me and the person whose name is actually on the lease. Sarah crossed her arms. People are going to know what you did. People will know what each of us chose. Anyone worth keeping won't need a PowerPoint. She blinked first. You'll have 30 days after everything's signed. Details tonight. You can't just evict me. I can end a situation that ran out of respect. After that, it's just logistics. She opened her mouth, closed it. We could still fix this. Dinner. A trip. You still have that hotel credit, right? Chris walked in right then. Truck's loaded, he said. Took one look, raised both hands and backed out. I picked up the envelope I'd left months ago. Credit's yours. I don't want it back. I don't want your charity. It's not charity. It's leftovers. She stared at it like it had bitten her. At the door, she threw the last dart. You know Jake's back. He says you were always too controlling. Maybe that's why I got bored. I turned the handle. And maybe you mistook standards for control. Either way, keeping you entertained was never my job. She wanted an explosion. I didn't give her one. 2 days after signing, 1-line email. When do you want me out? You have 14 days. No begging, no threats, no apology. Just a transaction. I got random calls, didn't answer. Jess texted for coffee. She showed up clutching her cup like a shield. I didn't know how bad it was. She started. I let her vent and didn't push back. You don't owe me anything. I still wanted to say it. She looked me in the eye. You did what my brother never could. You drew the line. Respect. On day 13, keys on the counter. Garage remote in the drawer. Took the blender. Enjoy the smoothies. House was empty when I went over. She'd taken clothes, books, a stack of empty frames, anything that could carry a story. The Maui envelope was gone. I walked room to room, flipped lights on and off. Walls just hold paint and memory if you let them. I didn't let them. Opened every window, let the air move through, locked up, left. 2 weeks later, the month-to-month wasn't needed anymore. I moved back in. New couch, not to erase, just to mark a chapter. Repainted the bedroom myself. New quilt. New skillet in the kitchen. Started having people over again. Nothing fancy, just a table, low music, real talk. The house remembered how to be a home without a soap opera. Word trickled back through the grapevine. The ex she rearranged her life for had vanished the minute things got real. She tried to plant new roots here. They didn't take. Moved to another city where a fresh audience might buy a new script a little longer. I wished her nothing. That's cleaner than wishing harm. Work took off. Alex got promoted. I hired 2 new guys who still believe in something. Bought an old truck. Spent weekends bringing it back to life. Loud, honest, ran like it meant it. Claire texts every once in a while. A goofy dog pic, a complaint about airport coffee, a listing that looks exactly like the place I rented. We keep it light. No rush. I hit the gym Tuesdays and Thursdays, cook for the neighbors on Sundays. Mrs. Garcia, the teenager down the block, Chris and Jess and their kid who now calls me Uncle Ree, because that's how kids work. One night, cleaning out a drawer, I found the empty travel envelope crumpled in the back. Tossed it, pulled out a fresh notebook, wrote 5 lines. Don't plan what only one person wants. Don't accept jokes that cut. Don't debate basic respect in public. Don't give what won't be valued. Give yourself distance instead. When someone says you don't need the details, believe them. Then keep yours. Closed the notebook, made dinner. Same skillet, garlic, lemon, a little butter. Ate at the table with a glass of iced tea, sweating in the quiet. Washed the pan, set it to dry, stood at the window. Car rolled by. Somewhere a dog was probably mastering a gate latch again. Phone buzzed. Alex. Client signed. Wings Thursday. Sounds perfect. Keep it simple. Thumbs up. No big lesson here. Just this. When respect starts leaking out, you either both grab a wrench and fix it fast, or you turn your own valve and walk away dry. I picked the second. Cost less than pretending. Bought me a life where dinner's never a stage play and the couch isn't keeping score. Last time I saw Sarah was pure chance. Hardware store, new house numbers in my hand. She walked in with Mia. Our eyes met for half a second. Then she looked right through me like I was made of glass. I nodded at the air and kept walking. Didn't feel like winning. Felt like the credits rolling. So if someone ever tells you, you don't need the details, believe them. Then guard your own. That one sentence set me free. Everything after was just paperwork, paint, and learning how good quiet can feel when it's yours. Now when I open my door, it's my door. When I sit on my couch, it's my couch. And nobody scripts my peace but me. That's not drama. That's peace, the adult version.